Picture this. It's 331 BC. The air is thick with tension. Two massive armies face each other on the plains of Gaugamela. On one side, the Macedonian forces led by Alexander the Great. On the other, the Persian army commanded by Darius III. This isn't just any battle, it's a showdown that will shape the course of history. The stakes couldn't be higher. Alexander, barely 25 years old, has already conquered much of the known world. But Darius stands in his way. This battle isn't just about two men or two armies. It's about two civilizations colliding. The young, dynamic Macedonian Empire versus the ancient, sprawling Persian Empire. And we're about to dive right into it.
Let's rewind a bit. Who is this Alexander guy? Born in 356 BC, he's the son of Philip II of Macedon. From day one, he's groomed for greatness. His tutor? None other than the philosopher Aristotle.
But I wasn't content with just book learning. I craved action. At 16, I got my first taste of battle. While my father was away, I crushed a Thracian rebellion. By 18, I was leading the companion cavalry in battle.
When his father is assassinated in 336 BC, Alexander takes the throne. He's only 20 years old. Alexander? He's ready to conquer the world. And conquer he does.
I started by securing my position in Greece. Then I set my sights east. In 334 BC, I crossed into Asia Minor. The Persian Empire was in my crosshairs. I won battle after battle. By 331 BC, I was deep in Persian territory.
As we approach Gaugamela, Alexander is undefeated. The Persian king Darius III is waiting for him. Now, let's talk about the other guy in this epic showdown. Darius III. He's not some pushover, folks. He's the king of kings, ruler of the largest empire the world has ever seen. The Persian Empire stretches from Egypt to India.
I am the heir to a dynasty that's ruled for 2 centuries. But I have a problem. I wasn't born to be king. I'm a distant relative of the royal family, chosen almost by accident. Some whisper that I'm not up to the job, but don't underestimate me. I'm determined to prove my worth.
When Alexander invades, Darius knows it's his moment. It's do or die time. Darius has already faced Alexander once before, at the Battle of Issus in 333 BC. It didn't go well. The Persians were routed, and Darius had to flee the field. His family was captured. It was a humiliation. But Darius isn't giving up. He spent the last 2 years preparing for this rematch. He's gathered the largest army he can muster. The stage is set for an epic confrontation. Now, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. The battle plans. This isn't just about who has the bigger army. It's a chess match. A deadly game of wits. Both Alexander and Darius are pulling out all the stops. They know what's at stake. One wrong move could mean disaster.
Let's start with Darius. His plan is all about numbers. He's got somewhere between 250,000 to 1 million men, probably closer to the lower end, but still, it's a massive force. His strategy? Use that size advantage. He wants to envelop Alexander's smaller army, crush them with sheer numbers. He's also got those scythed chariots. Think of them as ancient tanks. They're meant to slice through enemy lines.
Alexander, on the other hand, is all about flexibility. He's got about 47,000 men, a drop in the bucket compared to Darius. But these aren't just any soldiers. They're veteran troops, battle-hardened and loyal.
Alexander's plan? He knows he can't match Darius man for man, so he's going to try something risky.
Dawn breaks on October 1st, 331 BC. The air is electric with anticipation. Two massive armies face each other across the plain of Gaugamela.
The Persians, resplendent in their colorful uniforms, stretch as far as the eye can see.
The Macedonians, in contrast, look small, but don't be fooled. These are some of the toughest soldiers in the world.
The battle starts with a roar. Darius unleashes his secret weapons, the scythed chariots. They charge towards the Macedonian lines, blades whirling. It's a terrifying sight.
But Alexander is ready. He's trained his men for this. They open their ranks, letting the chariots pass harmlessly through. Then they turn and attack the chariots from behind. It's a brilliant counter.
Darius's first gambit fails. Now the real fighting begins. It's chaos. Dust clouds the air. The clash of metal on metal is deafening. Men scream in pain and fury.
In the center, Alexander's phalanx pushes forward. The Persians throw everything they have at them.
This is it, folks. The moment of truth. Alexander has been waiting for this. As the Persian cavalry pushes around his flanks, a gap opens up in the center of Darius's line. It's what Alexander has been looking for. He's about to make his move, and it's a doozy.
Alexander leads his companion cavalry, the elite of his army, straight for that gap. It's a wedge-shaped formation, with Alexander at the point. They're aiming right for Darius himself. It's an all-or-nothing gamble. If it works, he could end the battle in one stroke. If it fails, his army could be surrounded and destroyed.
The charge is like nothing anyone has ever seen. Alexander and his companions crash through the Persian lines like a thunderbolt. In that crucial moment, with Alexander bearing down on him, Darius makes a fateful decision. He turns and flees. The King of Kings, ruler of the largest empire in the world, abandons his army. It's a shocking turn of events. Even Alexander is surprised. He pushes on, trying to catch Darius. But the Persian king is too quick.
The effect on the Persian army is catastrophic. Seeing their king flee, many of the troops lose heart. Panic sets in. What was an orderly battle line becomes a chaotic rout. Men start throwing down their weapons and running. It's every man for himself. The mighty Persian army is coming apart at the seams.
Alexander, realizing Darius is out of reach, turns his attention back to the battle. There's still fighting to be done. By nightfall, it's all over. The Persian army is in full retreat. The dust settles on Gaugamela. The scale of Alexander's victory becomes clear. It's not just a win, it's a world-changing event. The Persian Empire, the superpower of its day, is effectively finished. Alexander now controls most of the known world, and he's just getting started.
In the immediate aftermath, Alexander doesn't rest on his laurels. He's in hot pursuit of Darius. The chase leads him to Babylon, then Susa, then Persepolis. These are the great cities of the Persian Empire. They fall to him one by one. The wealth he captures is staggering.
But what about Darius? The Persian king is on the run. His own people are turning against him. In July 330 BC, he's murdered by one of his own generals. It's a sad end for a once mighty king. The Battle of Gaugamela didn't just change the political map, it changed the course of history. Let's break down its long-term impact. First, it marked the end of the Persian Empire. A power that had dominated the Near East for 2 centuries was gone. In its place rose Alexander's empire, stretching from Greece to India.
But it wasn't just about territory. Gaugamela kicked off a period we now call the Hellenistic Age. Greek culture spread across the known world. New cities were founded. Trade routes opened up. Ideas flowed freely between East and West. The world became more interconnected than ever before. And it all started with Alexander's victory at Gaugamela.
The battle also had a huge impact on military history. As we wrap up our journey through the Battle of Gaugamela, let's take a moment to reflect. What can we learn from this ancient clash of titans? First, never underestimate the power of bold action. Alexander's willingness to take calculated risks changed the world. Sometimes, the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all.
Second, leadership matters a lot. Darius had the larger army, the home field advantage, everything going for him on paper. But when the crucial moment came, he blinked, he ran, and in doing so, he lost everything.